SpaceX revealed Flight 4 launch date. ULA's Delta IV heavy launch scrubbed. Hey, I'm Lucas. Welcome to the SpaceX community. Let's get started. So, I'm gonna tell you all something that you may be eager to hear. Don't get too excited because if something comes in, I may go wrong. Do you know what? Yes! Starship's Flight 4 is almost about to happen. I would say just weeks away from now. They have finally completed the second static fire test in less than 3 days. On March 25th, Ship 29 had a full-duration static fire of all 6 Raptor engines. Even though signs for a second test appeared on March 26th, it didn't happen. Finally, a new road closure was scheduled on March 27th from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., with a new potential risk to health and safety alert issuance. Now we will discuss a bit about the whole testing. So in order to prepare for the test, the roads were closed and the test pad was cleared at approximately 12:13 p.m. Central. The tank farm resumed its regular operations and the fuel tank vents were observed around 12:51. Loading of liquid oxygen fuel onto the ship commenced shortly after, with vapors becoming visible a few minutes later. Clear lines became apparent in the fuel tank section of the ship, followed by the standard engine chill process. By approximately 1:30 p.m., all preparations were complete and the engine was ignited. Unlike the previous static fire on Monday, this time only one engine was in operation, resulting in a less intense flame and dust layer. The test duration was brief, lasting around 6 seconds, with an estimated thrust of approximately 230 tons or 510,000 pounds from the single engine. Another noteworthy aspect of this test is the involvement of the header tank. In their post-test tweet, SpaceX highlighted the static fire of a single Raptor engine, utilizing the header tanks for Flight 4. Typically, Starship tests utilize fuel from the main tank, but this adjustment suggests that SpaceX aims to assess the header tank's reliability when directly engaged in operational processes. During Flight 3, SpaceX transferred fuel from the header to the main tank while in orbit. However, detailed data regarding this process has yet to be disclosed by SpaceX. Nevertheless, this test proves invaluable for SpaceX to ensure every component of Starship functions optimally during the upcoming flight. Following the recent test, S-29 was returned to the production site for pre-flight preparations today. At present, B-11 is stationed at Mega Bay, 1 in the production area. With the recent advancements of S-29, it's anticipated that this booster will soon be transported to the launch pad for a static fire test. Subsequently, the 2 stages will undergo full assembly for wet dress rehearsals in preparation for the launch, which is projected for early May. So essentially, the testing approach for the S-29 prototype mirrors that of another prototype, namely the S-28 Flight 3 prototype. The S-28 underwent 2 static fire tests last year, utilizing 6 engines on December 20th and then just 1 engine on December 29th. Some of our members ask me why they want to conduct a single engine testing. Well, these single engine tests serve a crucial purpose. They enable SpaceX to assess the reliability of the engine specifically for the deorbit burn process. This step becomes essential once Starship completes all its orbital objectives, as the engine will be engaged to initiate the atmospheric re-entry process. Originally, the in-space relight demonstration of the Raptor engine was slated for Flight 3. However, SpaceX later made the decision to cancel it and reschedule this mission for Flight 4. Indeed, it appears that this process holds primary significance for SpaceX. In the preceding flight, S-28 showcased an impressive few minutes of re-entry before encountering issues. Hence, SpaceX is keen on accomplishing this task in the upcoming flight. Elon Musk highlighted that the mission's objective is for Starship to successfully endure maximum re-entry heating with all systems operational. Additionally, SpaceX President Gwynne Shotwell recently confirmed that Flight 4 will not carry satellites on board. Instead, the focus will be solely on completing the Starship re-entry. I think this time, Starship's re-entry will be the major highlight during the live stream of Flight 4. What do you all think? Let me know in the comments. I'd like to quickly remind you to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We regularly upload informative SpaceX and space news videos that you won't want to miss. Be sure to turn on the notification bell so you're notified whenever we release new content. The United Launch Alliance, ULA, a renowned name in the space industry, is preparing for a significant event. The company is set to bid farewell to what its CEO, Tory Bruno, fondly refers to as the most metal of all rockets. However, the much-anticipated launch has been delayed due to a combination of unfavorable weather conditions and a technical glitch. Bruno took to social media to explain the situation. He revealed that the wind speed had exceeded the permissible limit, causing a hold in the countdown. During this hold, a technical issue arose with a ground pump at Cape Canaveral. The pump, which is part of the gaseous nitrogen pipeline, failed, leading to a scrub of the launch. The teams are now preparing for a new launch attempt. The rocket in question is a Delta IV Heavy, which is set to lift off from Space Launch Complex 37, SLC-37. The mission, known as NROL-70, is carrying a classified payload for the National Reconnaissance Office, NRO. This launch marks a significant milestone for ULA, as it signals the end of the Delta era. The company is transitioning to its new Vulcan rocket, which is expected to take over the reins from the Delta IV Heavy. The weather forecast for the launch is challenging. The 45th Weather Squadron predicts only a 30% chance of favorable conditions due to ground winds and cumulus clouds. However, the odds improve to 60% for the backup launch window the following day. During a pre-launch press conference, Bruno discussed the weather concerns. He explained that the large surface area of the 3-core Delta IV Heavy could cause it to be blown back towards the launch tower in high winds. However, he assured that they have a well-understood criteria and can launch in a narrow window of time if the winds calm down. The Launch Readiness Review, LRR, was led by ULA Launch Director Tom Heater. The review concluded with leaders from ULA, the NRO, and the US Space Force signing the Launch Readiness Certificate. This certificate is a testament to the readiness of the rocket and the team for the launch. Bruno described the retirement of the Delta as bittersweet. He praised the rocket's impressive technology and power, highlighting its height of 23 stories, 500,000 gallons of propellant, and 2.25 million pounds of thrust. He also spoke about the future, expressing excitement about the transition to the Vulcan rocket and the opportunities it presents in the competitive launch services market. The Delta IV Heavy for the NROL-70 mission arrived at Cape Canaveral in May 2023, 22 years after the first Delta IV was delivered for testing. The rocket is powered by 3 common booster cores, CBSs, with RS-68A engines and a Delta Cryogenic Second Stage, DCSS, with an RL-10C21 engine. The stages use a combination of liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen, producing over 2 million pounds of thrust at liftoff. Brig General Kristen Panzenhagen, commander of Space Launch Delta 45, shared her personal connection to the Delta IV Heavy during a pre-launch media briefing. Having been part of the US Air Force and later the US Space Force since the rocket's first launch, she expressed her fortune at having been close to the rocket throughout its operational life. She noted that she has been part of the US Air Force and subsequently the US Space Force since the Delta IV Heavy began launching. She said she's fortunate to have been in proximity to the rocket throughout its lifetime. She reflected on her journey with the rocket, expressing gratitude for the opportunity to witness its evolution and contribute to its success. She also expressed anticipation for the future, looking forward to the advancements that the Vulcan rocket will bring. Thanks for watching today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for another great video tomorrow.